is Angelica. So I'm glad you guys like clapping because I'm going to have you do a unity clap with me. So it's kind of like a slow clap where you start off slow, and then you go faster, and then you go faster, and that's called a unity clap. So if you guys want to do a unity clap with me? So start. Thank you guys. So in Mexican American Studies classes in TUSD, that's how every class would start, with the unity clap. And then we would recite the following poem, which was written by Luis Valdez from his play Pensamiento Serpentino. And the play is called En la Quech. It's called En la Quech. So it goes, Tú eres mi otro yo. You are my other me. Si te hago daño a ti, if I do harm to you, me hago daño a mí mismo. I do harm to myself. Si te amo y respeto, if I love and respect you, me amo y respeto yo. I love and respect myself. This poem taught me a lot. It taught me about these, and I'm going to talk to you more about that, but during my junior and senior year of high school, I was a student and strong advocate for Mexican American Studies classes in TUSD. So my purpose of my speech today is to talk to you about how En la Quech and respecting others and learning to love others as myself was very difficult when you're taking a stand for something, when you're politically and socially active taking a stand for something, and learning to respect those who don't necessarily agree with you and aren't very nice about telling you about it. So first I'm going to talk to you about why these classes were so controversial, quick description of what they were like and why they were so different from traditional courses. Then I'm going to talk to you about the struggles that I faced being in the public spotlight as far as on news channels and protests and rallies, and how it was so hard to respect those people that were standing there saying not so nice things about you, as well as some physical things that happened. And then finally, I'm going to go into more description of En la Quech and how it really did change my life and outlook on other people. So like I said, these courses taught typical high school classes, but through a socially critical lens. So, for example, my Latino literature teacher, Mr. Acosta, he taught subjects such as socioeconomic class and status in Tucson in the United States, using text from authors such as Shakespeare, Dr. King, KRS-One, Nas. Yeah, he went there. My government teacher, which is how I got so into to socially conscious hip-hop. My government teacher, my social justice teacher, Ms. Federico, taught us social justice through getting involved in our community and seeing what inequalities existed in our Hispanic communities and our African American communities versus our more affluent communities in Tucson, and requiring us to take field notes and get involved. My American history teacher, Mr. Gonzalez, discussed contributions that minorities gave to the United States, something that's not something that you learn about in typical traditional American history courses. But like I said, there was politicians who took a very anti-Latino platform during re-election and decided to pass a law in 2010 that was signed by Governor Jan Brewer. It was HB 2281. And these are some posters that community members made during many protests and marches and events that we created to pass out. And the law stated, if you want to read the full text, you can go to azlive.gov. And basically it said that no class in Arizona could promote the overthrow of the U.S. government, could be designed for a specific class of, specific ethnic group, promote resentment towards any race or class, or promote ethnic solidarity, which we still don't even know what that means. But that was the legislation. And now I'm going to talk to you about some of the criticisms that we faced. So we came together as a community, and sorry, I don't think the button's working. It's not? Okay. So we came together as a community and started to put together marches and candlelit vigils and all peaceful protests. But like I said, there was people who agreed with the law and who would say things to your face and who would write things on the newspaper about you. And it was really hurtful. It was really hard to deal with. And it wasn't just verbal, but started to get physical when police started to get involved. On the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see a comparison. On the left, it's a civil rights march that was in the 1960s, and police are injuring this guy. And on the right of that is one of our events. And police officers were macing students and throwing them and being very physical. But you can see that it was a huge debate in Tucson, just the mass amount of people. On the top left corner, you can see just the sheer number of supporters. And then on the right is kind of an example that our protests were peaceful. You know, we did silent sit-ins and things like that. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so Anec, tú eres mi otro yo, you are my other me. Talk to you about how that plays when people are saying things to you that you don't like, or police are grabbing you, and trying to still have respect for law enforcement while that's happening to you. Si te hago daño a ti, me hago daño a mí mismo. If I do harm to you, I do harm to myself. So realizing that I need to show them that that's not how I want to be treated. So I'm not going to touch you. I don't want you to touch me. And it's just kind of how you have to think about it. But finally, si te amo y respeto, me amo y respeto yo. If I love and respect you, I love and respect myself. Just to remember that anything that you do to somebody else, how much you love and show respect to them is a direct reflection of yourself, of how much you love and respect yourself. So in conclusion, I went over a little bit of why these classes are so controversial, some of the things that we learned in class, some of the obstacles that I faced while trying to defend these courses from HB 2281, and how Anec helped me to get through this and take a stand for something that was important to me, but do so by still loving and respecting others and respecting myself. So, defending my education is something that is really important, and I did it not just for myself, but for my brother and sister, for community members, for other generations who can benefit from this, because everyone else is a reflection of myself. So again, my name is Angelica. If you have any questions, I have my email on the slideshow. Unless you have any questions for me right now, thank you guys so much for listening.